We're here at the Maher wellfield with Hans Kaiser, who is the Hyannis Water Supervisor. Hans, this is some good news. The monies to really redesign this wellfield has been passed through Town Council. You're ready to go.
Yes, we are. We're happy with that, and definitely thanks to the Town Councilor that all of them voted for this project, and also the Hyannis Water Board was in full support of this project. And what we're designing here and going to build is a filtration plant, which is actually in addition to the existing facilities. Because we're planning to, with this facility, to take out the iron and manganese out of the water. We're planning to take the 1.4 dioxin contaminant out of the water, and the PFAS type of contaminants. So there's a lot that this new facility needs to do.
So with the new facility coming on, let's just back up a little bit. So this isn't just something we decided to do 3 years ago. This project kind of had, pen to paper looking, because these contaminants were in the water and they're not easily removed.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. We discovered these contaminants in the water. They're the what I call the emerging contaminants. They're not regulated yet. The federal government, EPA, required us to do sampling and testing for these contaminants in 2014, 2015. We discovered 1.5 dioxin and up in the Maher area, PFAS, PFOA contaminants. Maher, we dealt with that with activated carbon, and over here we ended up shutting down one well and building an interconnection with the town of Yarmouth Water Department and mixing the two waters, and in that way diluting it enough that it's safe to drink and under the health advisory levels. But long term, it's really not a good situation, because dilution is not really the preferred action, right, in our judgment. And the other issue is, if you spend close to $1 million a year on purchasing water from Yarmouth, that's a lot of money. And the other issue is, if there's a problem in Yarmouth, their first priority is their own customers, which I can understand. It's just not a secure and safe option for the ratepayers in Hyannis. So what we did is we went with a preliminary design option to see what our options were for removal of these contaminants. Last summer we did a pilot testing sequence where we had some trailers out right in front here that actually had the testing equipment that mimicked what the final equipment would be and would do, and to make sure that our water actually gets run to this testing equipment, and then just make sure that it actually works. And that was fairly successful and also eye-opening, because we were originally planning to do the carbon filtration units first, and then later on take care of the UV. But come to find out, during this pilot testing, we couldn't do that. We had to do everything at the same time. So that's what we're doing, that's what we're planning to move forward with.
Right.
And right now the design is about at the 50% stage, so we're moving right ahead.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about the design stage. I'm a science geek here, and what I understand from you is that your staff and your engineers are really involved in this process, because eventually they're going to have to manage it and or repair it once it's done. So give us a little indication of how you worked with the design company and how important that is. We
basically give them a general outline of what we need and why. They put something on paper as an initial design, and then we get together with operations, in this case the Suez operators. We have a whole bunch of DPW personnel involved, and the engineers. We hash out all the operational issues, startup, if something breaks down, how do you fix it? Do we have enough valves, enough piping in place to bypass things, to blow off like wastewater, etc. It's quite an intense process.
So this particular site here eventually is, this back open site here is where this is going to go. Kind of walk us through the timeline of what's going to happen from now, since the money's been appropriated, to when this new wellfield is going to come online, the new station.
It's quite a process. We're planning to submit to DEP for financial and technical approval design plans and bid specs in October this year. Hopefully we'll get approval by the end of November and then go out to bid in December, January timeframe. Pick a designer, sorry, not a designer, a contractor, and we have to deal with filed sub-bids because of the way the construction works. So we hope to break ground in the spring of 2019, construct all through the summer, all through the winter, and have the plant online before the summer of 2020.
Wow, that's an aggressive timeline.
We have to.
We have to, right. So,
yes.
You know, water, I don't think, well, I do think that most people know about water quality, but it's really important that, since this is a municipal owned water department, that you're always constantly thinking about the residents who are consuming this water, and that, you know, a lot of the things that you do here are really literally for the residents.
Yep, that's absolutely the case.
Okay, so it's all designed, you flip a switch and it goes online?
No, it's not that easy. There's a lot of sampling, testing, adjusting, fine-tuning, which is going to take probably a couple of months. And then the DEP needs to come through the facility, they do their testing, and then if they're satisfied, they will approve and sign off on the facility. And only after we get that final approval can we actually go online. Okay. So it's still quite a process. The interesting part about this facility is it's going to be the first facility of this kind in Massachusetts.
Really?
So it is the fact that we are going to be treating not only iron and manganese, which is kind of standard, but the fact that we're also going to remove emerging contaminants, PFAS, PFOA, and 1.4 dioxin is the first in the state of Massachusetts.
Right. And these emerging contaminants, this is just starting to come to the forefront within the DEP and some of the other agencies here. Touch upon, you know, these aren't regulated yet. We don't know what these contaminants may or may not do.
Well, we got a pretty good idea because of the health advisory and the health issues that are being researched. The issue is the EPA and Mass DEP up till shortly didn't really have a good sense of the safe levels of these contaminants in the drinking water. On top of that, the laboratory techniques and equipment that is out there now that wasn't out there 10, 15 years ago makes it possible to detect these compounds to very, very minute levels. 10, 20 years ago, you just wasn't possible to do that. But with that also comes the next set of questions that is more philosophical, in the sense that, you know, what's the right level and what's not, because before that you couldn't measure it, now you can, but what do you do with that information? And the town of Barnstable, especially DPW, we basically caution on the side of safety, because we think that it's important to provide maximum safety for our residents, and not try to minimalize things.
So is this facility being the first of its kind in Massachusetts,
Yes.
you can actually bring back data to some of these agencies with these emerging contaminants?
Yes, we do. And actually, we also work right now with not only the Silent Spring Institute, but also the Harvard University, the School of Public Health, and in Rhode Island, the School of Public Health in Rhode Island, work with them together with the STEEP program to get the research done and to really get a comprehensive look on what these issues are and how to address them properly.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Hans. Anything else you
Welcome.
want to tell anybody?
No, basically the water is safe and to drink. I drink it every day, and we just keep on moving forward and making sure that the water is safe and fight for clean and safe drinking water right in here in Hyannis. And it's quite a challenge, but we're up to it.
Excellent. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.